All right. Good morning, Jordan. Thank you for meeting with me.
Of course.
This school year, I'm going to be your instructional coach, and I want you to understand and know that I am not here to observe you. I'm not here to critique you. I'm here collaboratively with you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can choose to answer them as you please.
Yeah.
Just be very open and honest.
For sure.
And I'm going to be very open and honest with you. Oh my God,
Wonderful.
pretty size, but go ahead. So here is my first question. What's your teaching experience? What's your background? And anything you would like to share.
Yeah, totally. So I've been within the school since February of 2024. I started off as a long-term sub in 4th grade. And then also as a long-term sub as an in-class support teacher. Began my student teaching at the beginning of this last school year, so 2024. Was with 4th grade for about 12 weeks, subbed around a little bit more, and then also was able to be a long-term sub in the classroom that I now am currently in as a full-time teacher. So this is really like my first full year of just me starting off with the kids.
Okay, all right, so I know this personally because I've spoken to you.
Yeah.
But you've worked in other areas of education or other areas other than education.
Yes.
I want you to elaborate on that because I think it's very important to what you're going to bring, something special than maybe even someone like me would bring to the classroom. You have outside experience. So can you elaborate on that as well?
Definitely. So I graduated in 2018 with my undergrad in health science and a minor in business administration. So this was not the original plan. I went into sales for the first part of kind of like my adult career. Went from sales to working with one of the Olympic governing bodies with USA Volleyball. So I worked with all of our youth athletes that were in the pipeline to eventually become Olympians, which is really cool. So I mainly worked with our beach kids for 15U and 17U, which was like awesome. So I got paid to go to the beach, which was really wonderful to go get burned.
But you know, want to do that.
So it was great. Decided to move to a different avenue and actually go back to sales. I worked for a company called Worldwide Express, where I started off as an account executive, so just selling shipping and logistics to people. So I guess kind of getting over my fear of calling parents almost. It's a lot easier to call a parent than it is to call a CEO of a company. So that was like really cool experience for me to gather for coming to teaching. I went from that to a freight operations specialist. Where I was still doing kind of that, like connecting people between different parts of the country to make sure that their shipping and all of their like big freight got to where it needed to go. So still really good conversation between people and learning how to kind of delegate tasks and to also like problem solve kind of on the fly, which is like a big thing for teaching. After that, within the same company, I went back into sales. So it was kind of like a new branch. And then I was very excited to be asked to become a regional sales trainer. So I was still able to do like teaching. It was all virtual, but I did actually get to create curriculum for my company, which was really cool.
So you taught?
I did. So I created curriculum for them. I created manuals. I worked alongside a lot of our like C-suite people in the company. And then also with our brand new hires to show them kind of like the ropes of the company. But we also like got to go see each other and like visit people at all of our different offices around the country, which was very cool. So with that, I decided that it was time for me to like really actually pursue teaching. I started my master's in education in November of 2022, I believe. And then decided to leave my job at Worldwide Express and then go on to substitute teaching, getting experience kind of in the real world, which is where my 4th grade experience comes from. Yeah, and so a lot of that was just really good, and then my like actual teaching experience is just with this classroom and also with Mr. Kaufman in 4th grade. So I got a lot going on. And I've also coached volleyball, so that's also like a really good tie into working with kids, practice plans, like lesson planning,
that's what
engagement. It's a lot. So yeah.
So how do you think all your experience actually you taught, like what you just said, that's teaching.
Yeah.
Like creating a curriculum? Wow.
Yep. Yes.
So you've taught, you've actually, I see your volleyball pictures, I love them. How can you bring those two together and bring it into the classroom? How does that help your students, or how does it help you, even you and I, to work together?
Totally. And so I think like for me in sports, sports is like 10% of the actual like athletic part of it and 90% of learning life skills. And so I feel like the percentages are maybe a little bit different in school, but I do feel like the life skill part that comes from teaching, like it gives you a really cool opportunity to turn kids into really wonderful human beings, and like that's just what I'm here for. Where like with coaching volleyball, I still have kids reaching out to me, which is very sweet, just to come to their volleyball games if they're playing in college, or even just checking in to say hi and I miss you. So I think it's like the connection that you get that really makes me love teaching, that I learned from volleyball that I can bring into the classroom with me. Yeah.
Okay, so now down to the good stuff.
Yes.
What are some, and remember this is early into the school year.
Totally.
So what are some grows that you think, we could work on? Or, more so the grows, but we can also tie in the clothes as well.
Absolutely. So I think one of the cool things from last year to this year that I've really improved on, that we actually spoke about last year, was time management.
Time management.
And making sure, which is like a whole thing, making sure that that like I have kind of my life together in the classroom and understanding what time it is, how long we're taking for things, because like it's a whole thing anyways. So we got like big timers. I had it. It's like a big red timer.
I saw the big timer.
Yeah, it's way over there. But I had a big red timer, and so I want to make sure that I'm using it for myself, but I'm also using it for the kids to show them like there are time constraints and things. You don't always have forever to accomplish something. But this year I've worked really hard on trying to get small groups every single day, or at least having some kind of one-on-one or two-on-one conversation with kids here at a back table to make sure that they're really understanding what they're doing. And then I've also implemented a highlighter system where on homeworks, the kids can either highlight in pink, yellow, or green. Pink being I'm really struggling and I need help. Yellow meaning I feel okay about it. And then green meaning I feel really good. I could teach this to another student. So the kids that are on yellow, I make sure to visit with them each day to make sure that they understand what they're doing. And then the red kids, even if they're not in my like small groups that I take each day, I'm still pulling them over and checking in with them just to make sure that they understand the prior night's homework. So I think I've done really good with trying to get like the processes down. I've worked really hard on
and
it.
The strategies and everything like that.
Yeah.
I love this, and I'm going off, but I love this because then now when you have your small groups, it's like a rotation. So everything's like flowing. So you feel better about like this year versus, well, we can just say last year.
Totally. I feel better about it this year. I think the thing that I've been trying to like really implement as well, which probably is like a growth that I would like to have, is implementing more like choice work at the end. The kids usually have some kind of like color by number that's like associated with whatever we're currently learning. We've done a lot of multiplication for topics 1 and 2 and still with 3. And then I also have lookits now, which is really fun for them, which like they love. But like I think for me, I want to make sure that they have things available to them that they can do. And I think that's the thing that I want to like really want to improve. Because I mean, it's one thing to have a coloring sheet or like a color by number and then something to do on the computer, but I have had kids tell me I'm getting kind of bored, and I'm like, okay, bored's not good. Bored means that you're gonna go cause some trouble, so let's figure out something else.
I think just downtime
keeping them busy. Yeah, for sure.
But constructively busy, right?
Absolutely. Like appropriate to whatever we're learning and still like I don't know what the right word is, I can't think of it. But something that's like associated with what we're doing.
In line with whatever the topic is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you think that's something we can work on together?
I think
like
so.
Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely seriously.
Because I think that's something when I was fully in the classroom, that's something that I needed to work on. Like that student who they finish everything, they do this, they
So
do
fast.
that, they're groups, and then
Yeah.
they're like, wait, what am I doing? Where
Yeah,
did I
and
go?
there's
Where-
30 minutes left of class,
And
and
there's
you're
30
like, ooh, yeah,
What do we have to do?
totally.
So let's do this. Let's make a plan
Yeah.
and to collaboratively work on the choice activities at the
Yeah.
end. Once that student who is like flying through everything, and even it helps those students, I'm thinking now, it might even help those students who, you know, they might end up with like 15 minutes left or
Totally.
20 minutes left. Okay, so thank you so much for meeting with
Oh
me.
my gosh, of course.
And thank you for telling me about the volleyball stuff. We'll talk more,
Yeah,
if anything,
definitely.
but let's build a plan, and I'm so excited about this, actually.
Me too.
This is really how I feel, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited about
Yeah.
this to create some like choice activities for the
Totally.
kids.
Yeah, I
But
love that.
collaboratively, not you me telling you what to do or you telling me,
Totally.
but just
feel like
us to
working
come together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
Sure.
Look, give me a hug.
Oh
I
my
love
god,
you.
of course. I love you so much.